Time for cardboard chaos again. Updates to the moving situation. I think I've kind of come up with a game plan, at least one that I hope works the best. And I think it's the cheapest option I can see right now. So in an effort to avoid paying for movers again, which cost me $1,200 a few months ago just to move in here, and now I'm going to be moving further away, so it's going to be more than that. In an effort to try to not pay all that again, I have decided to rent a small storage unit for now, because I also don't know where I'm moving to. Affordable housing is extinct, and anything that is affordable is snapped up like immediately, so it's not going well. Apartment hunting is not going well. So I am gonna pivot, and my aunt has graciously said that I can stay with her if I need to with the cats, which is so amazing. I think I'm gonna explore that option, and I'm a little bit hesitant because she does have a dog. She adopted him a handful of years ago now, but he's never been around cats since she's had him, so she has zero idea how he will react to cats. It could be good, it could be bad, so we'll see how it goes. But she has a big house all to herself. We can gate the cats upstairs, the dog downstairs if needed, and even that, like, if the cats were on the third floor, they're still gonna have like 4 times the amount of the room in this apartment anyway, and sunny skylight windows for all the sunny naps. But I want them comfortable and happy, even though like moving in itself is stressful, and so that makes me sad. But we gotta do what we gotta do, and as long as we can keep landing in a safe environment, then okay. And so on the off chance my aunt's doesn't work out, my parents are gracious enough to let me stay with them as well. They don't have any animals, so the cats would be just needing to be used to a lot more people, which has its own stressors, but honestly they would be safe, so it doesn't matter. The living situation wise, things are still a little up in the air, and they might be for a little bit, but at least being up in Maine, I will be in person to go look at apartments, and I can be like right there when things come up to go look at them. And I just feel like it'll be a better vantage point for apartment hunting if I'm actually in the area. So I think the storage unit is going to be perfectly fine for now. I'm just getting a small one, like a 5x12. It should be $60 a month or less. That seems totally doable. And then the other part of this equation is work and getting my stuff to the storage unit. So I'm having so many free days because I'm not working. It's just not working out well, but I'll talk about that in a second. But that frees up my time to be able to use my car to take loads of things to the storage unit. It's probably gonna take me maybe 5-6 trips, but that's still gonna be significantly cheaper than hiring movers. Towards the end of the month, when it comes down to just the bigger items like my bed, the bed frame, my TV stand, and my cabinet, and like some of the larger shelving units, even though they do come apart, I'm thinking borrow my dad's truck to just take one run, hopefully, for all the bigger items. And logistically, I don't know if he'll be able to help me physically get the things into the truck. So it may still involve hiring movers for a little bit of time to help load these bigger items into his truck. When it comes to pricing movers, the minimum that I'm seeing that you can get movers for is 2 movers for 2 hours, which is way longer than I'm gonna need. It would probably take 2 movers, maybe 20 minutes, especially once everything else is clear and out of here. But 2 hours is the minimum you can book, and the minimum price I've seen on that is $300, and it goes up from there. And I'm sure there's additional charges that get tacked on and whatever, so there may still be a good chunk of cost. And certainly they got gas in my car to get down and back several times. I looked at renting the smallest U-Haul truck, the studio size. That starts at a minimum of $540, and that's without gas and all the additional charges and insurance that they tack on. And I would still need to hire bodies for that as well, but that's still incredibly expensive, and that's without even putting gas in the U-Haul. So that's my game plan at the moment. It's just storage unit for now and see what unfolds once I actually get out of here, get my butt up to Maine, and, you know, get settled in a tiny bit, wherever that ends up being. So that's my plan. I'm going to take all these days of not working and pack and move my own shit because I might as well. I'm not doing anything else. So let's now talk about work because holy moly, it has been tough. In this last Transfer Tuesday video, I was fresh off the boat. I was feeling great. It was right at the start of July. I had a trip, feeling hopeful about getting my 12 days per month at sea, which this is my first full month to do that without any need for delay. As far as getting me trained and certified, now that I'm good to go, it's just not gone great since. The second, I had a boat lined up. On the third, I had multiple boats lined up. On the fourth, I was willing to work. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go see my family for the fourth. I was prepped and ready to be here because there were multiple fishermen that claimed they would try to fish on the fourth. So I had 3 potential boats for the fourth. Boom, 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 all canceled. Today, now the 5th, I had 3 boats that canceled on me last night for today. So that is like skyrocketing, this cancellation rate. And so now, I've missed 4th of July hanging out with my family because I stayed here because these fishermen are not deciding that they're not going until 8 p.m. every day. And it's like, it's so frustrating. So like some of you had mentioned, yeah, I'm essentially just on call all the time. Can't make day-to-day plans about the next day because they're either telling me at 8 p.m. they're going or they're not going. If they're going, I have to go right to bed. If they're not going, great. Okay, well, there's another day wasted hanging around. What am I going to do tomorrow? Sit around and wait for another boat for the next day. So it's like, I totally understand the high turnover rate now because of this constant, like, you can't make plans. I mean, granted, like I've mentioned, if I did want to make plans ahead of time, I can certainly request time off. But for this whole month, I don't need time off. Holidays are whatever. It's not a huge deal, but even being here and willing to work on holidays for no holiday additional pay, just like trying to get paid, and it's still not working out. So my enthusiasm is dwindling and already feeling like getting my 12 days this month is going to be a challenge, but certainly at no fault of my own. I'm trying my best. They're scheduling me multiple boats because to try to offset this cancellation rate, and I know I'm not alone. We have a group chat from everyone that was in training and everyone's in the same boat. Metaphorical boat. It just sucks. It sucks. I was hopeful. Trying to be hopeful. It's gonna ebb and flow, but my hopefulness is gonna ebb and flow, and my positive attitude about it is gonna ebb and flow a little bit, but I'm trying. All I really need to focus on right now is just doing my best to get my days this month while also using the days that I'm not going to pack and truck my stuff up to Maine, truck my butt back down here, and be prepared for the next day. I think just the fact that it's July as well is like helping me be optimistic, just because it does mean this is my last month here. I get to get out of here. The cats get to get out of here. And I feel so isolated and disconnected down here. Granted, living out of a storage unit and kind of like couch hopping in some family member's house doesn't exactly provide a settling feeling either, but it's at least gonna feel way better. And all of these days off, instead of being stuck in this apartment, at least I'll be stuck in places that are familiar and comfortable and happy, and I think that'll help a lot. I don't have a whole lot of hope I'm gonna hit my 12 days and therefore make the full amount of income this month that I'm supposed to be making, that I was told I would be making, that I'm expected to be making by my employer. But Monday, if I'm not on a boat, Monday will be my first jaunt up north, I think. So that's my plan. time to get started. What's going on? Okay, I haven't gotten very far, but I just have an update. I was feeling chatty while I was pulling stuff out of the closet, and I called my parents. I was giving them the background story on the storage unit and what my plan was with taking trips with my car, and they were like, don't get a storage unit. Put stuff up here in the barn. We don't care. And like, I didn't want to just assume that was okay, just because in previous conversations, before I moved here, actually, when I was still like in flux on where I'm moving, they asked me if I was going to get a storage unit, so I just kind of took that to be like, that would be their preference, but no. You know, and my dad said, no, bring stuff here, put it up in the barn, it's not going to be in our way. Totally fine, there's plenty of room. And then when it comes to the truck, my dad was like, I'm feeling totally fine enough to help you move those big items. So I'm feeling so much better about all of this. So I'll save money by not renting a storage unit, save myself, I mean, it was like 50, 60 bucks a month, whatever it was. And that way, all of my stuff, I know exactly where it is. It's safe, it's dry, it's clean, you know. He thinks he can totally help me with the big items. Worst case, we'll like find a day when one of my older nephews is available or one of my brothers to jump in the truck with my dad and come down and grab all of these things. And if they don't all fit in the truck bed, my dad also has a trailer, which I didn't want to borrow the truck and drive that. I'm totally comfortable driving really big trucks. That's how I learned to drive. But trailering is a little different, especially in these streets. Absolutely no for me. But if he's willing to pop down here for the day and he's driving the trailer, totally cool. But I'm not doing that. I feel so much better. That totally eliminates the need to hire movers as well to help me just get the stuff out of this apartment and down the stairs to the truck. So luckily, between my dad and I, we're going downstairs, so it's a heck of a lot easier than going upstairs. So it's all gonna be fine. So I'm still gonna make a handful of trips with my car. Every time I go up, just take whatever I can stuff in that car and just drop it off up there. So yes. So I'm just gonna keep packing for the first carload and get all of that stuff out of that closet, hopefully. Several hours later, a lot of things have come off the walls. I feel like artwork, getting things off the walls is such a big defining step of things are moving. Now we're crooked, sorry. But man, I am sweaty. So I just loaded the car with the first load. But also, exciting update, about an hour ago, I got a boat confirmed for tomorrow. Luckily, it's one of the guys I've been talking to for the last 2 days. Anyway, so I've already been chatting with him, and so I'm assigned to him again for tomorrow, and he's actually going. So I'm excited. So I couldn't load the car totally. All of my gear for the boat trip takes up the hatch part, so like the whole trunk, but I've got the full back seat folded down, and that's lined with a couple of totes and a box and the shelving unit to organize it all once I get it all to my parents' house. So the trip is up out of Portland, so I'll do that tomorrow. My stuff will sit in the car. It's supposedly going to be an overnight trip, so hopefully I'll get 2 sea days out of this, which will be nice. And then when we land on Sunday, I'll just continue north and make my way to my parents' house and drop off my first load of things. And then I'll get to sit and visit with them for a bit as well. Things are looking up, maybe. They are. Even if this does turn into 2 C days, so the 6th and the 7th of July, will I get 12 days by the end of the month? It helps, but it's still not super confident about it. But either way, I'll get to start schlepping stuff north. And that feels nice. The cats are a little, I mean, he's napping now, but they're like, oh god, she's moving shit around again. So Piper's been hiding. I can't wait until moving so frequently is just no longer a thing. Good morning from Maine, from the garden. So I'm in Maine at my parents' house, and I just got back from a boat trip last evening. It was an overnight. It was my first overnight boat trip. So I don't know, I was kind of excited. I think I told you guys, like, I was feeling confident, feeling ready for overnights on a boat, and everything's been feeling better and great, you know, with the seasickness. And no. Oy. That night on the boat was terrible, and that's only because it was shitty. So what's today? Monday? So yeah, Saturday morning we left at like 5 a.m. out of Portland, Maine. So I had to get up at 1:30 to leave Gloucester to get to the boat in time for 5 a.m. And man, it was crappy. The seas weren't that terrible, but they weren't great. And so it was just a long day when you're trying to work offshore and it's like really shitty out. It's just so much harder on the body because you're just being thrown all over the place sometimes. And that was fine for most of the day, but man, once my Dramamine wore off, and well, I could tell it was maybe, there's a woodpecker right there. I could tell it was maybe starting to wear off, but so I wanted to take a second dose, but man, it just wouldn't stay down, and neither would my food. So sorry if that's gross, but that's just the reality. And for some reason, I kept not being able to sleep. I could not sleep on the boat once, and normally boats put me right to sleep because that rocking motion. I don't know if it was just, I'm guessing it was just psychological, because I felt trapped, and I was like, oh no, this is like going in a bad direction. Like, you guys know that the reason I've not been wanting to do overnights or anything longer than 1 day is just because of that horrifying experience in the past of being trapped out there and having no control over when I can get home and like get back on land and start feeling better. And so I think that was probably playing into it a little bit, but it was just horrible. It was horrible. It was just hours of just trying to sleep, but also like just moving and grooving all through your bunk because it's just crappy out. And oh my god, it sucks because like one great experience out there where it's beautiful and it's been a great day and not sick at all, and it's just sunny and nice, and which is how it's been the last few trips, and that's why I was feeling confident and feeling great about it starting, you know, maybe this job's gonna be fine. I just had a seasoning period, but no, I should have just known it was because so far I had been really lucky with the weather, and yeah, I should have checked the weather before I went on this trip, but also at the same time I had boats cancel for 5 days in a row before that. So I was like, oh my god, finally a boat trip. So it's like I need to work. I'm already feeling behind on my sea days for the month, so now I have 3, and it's the 7th today, I think, of July. So maybe I'll get 12 this month, but I didn't even think to look at the weather because I was just so happy to actually have a boat confirmed that was going and I could get sea days. And that was dumb. I won't do that again. So it's a balance. It's like, how do I turn down work when it's there, but the weather's shitty, even though like the 5 days before I got skunked and the weather was gorgeous. It sucks. And so it's just really kind of ruined my enthusiasm and excitement for this, like, working out. And I'm not saying I'm quitting now. No, I'm not saying that. I'm a tough broad, as the fishermen keep putting it. So it's fine, but it's still not fun. It just feels like such a weird place of desperation almost when you're in a situation that is making you feel horrible and you can't get away from it because your whole world is just constantly, and there's nowhere to go to get away from that. You just feel trapped. Like, you are trapped. You're trapped. You're helpless out there. You're not the one in control, and if they're not coming in, they're not coming in, you know? Not that I would ever be like, I'm sick, can we go in? Like, no. Suck it up. Now, I'm gonna go back to saying no, just day trips. Like, overnights are no good, because clearly I'm not ready. You know, maybe if the weather had been different. It's frustrating because I was hoping it would be fine and have a better chance at getting my sea days and making more money, but aside from all that, this morning before the sun came, it's like 9 a.m. right now. It's already probably 80 degrees out here. It's so hot. Right when I got up, I unloaded my car, got it all organized and up there, so I'm happy about that. It's like the first load of things to move out of the apartment that I'm in, that I'm, you know, not wanting to be in anymore. It feels really nice to have that process started. Especially with the job situation. Just feels like such a great safety net to have family that is willing to, you know, allow me some time to decompress and have a reprieve and get myself together and figure out what my next step is. What am I doing from here? Where am I going? Can I find an apartment? What's, you know, maybe a different job? I don't know. It's just so much up in the air. But step one is just like getting up here, getting all of my things up here, getting myself and the cats up here, and just having a chance to have a moment to regroup and figure out what I'm doing with my life. I've just been weeding the garden because you guys know that's like all I want to do. It's just, it was so lovely to come out here at 6:30 this morning before the sun was up fully over the trees, and it was just so beautiful out here. Listening to all the birds, and I'm guessing that was deer crashing through the woods. There's a mom and 2 fawns that live, well, Dad said he came out the other morning and they were sleeping right here next to the compost pile in this brush that's like 15 feet away from me. And the bald eagles, not that they're pleasant, but they're here. So many of them now. Oh my gosh, what a lovely day. I'm so excited to be here when it's hot out and just chill, float in the water, cool off, not worry about things, just have a day, you know? And I'll get to be weeding this garden as often as I want. Because that's a never-ending battle. I can see I missed some earlier. It's so cute. They just did like a little 2 tomato plants, 2 peppers, 2 cucumber, 4 zucchini, and then next to you guys is 2 rows of green beans. Just modest. The little things that they love to eat. I love that. Just hands in soil, you know? It's so lovely. So calming. So it's later in the day now, and I've had plenty of time sitting in the breeze and the shade, and I finally had some time to go through getting back to comments on my videos. So I'm sorry I've been slow about getting back to comments, but as I was going through them, I noticed there are quite a few that have kind of the same theme to them, or a lot of people are asking similar questions. So I just wanted to touch on some of them. First and foremost, let's talk about the job situation. clearly this morning I just explained like what's going on with that and how I'm feeling about it, and how, to be honest, I'm feeling a little bipolar about this job, because like one day I'm like, oh, this is so great, I can do this, and then the next, not great, which sucks, because I don't know, it's just like that. When it's calm, when it's nice, when things are easy, when you're not sick, it's just like, it's magical out there, you know, working out on the ocean all day. Hell yeah, that's amazing, especially this time of year when it's absolutely gorgeous. Even in the winter, it's cold, but it's, you know, a nice day is still a nice day. But then when it's shitty and you're sick and you just like can't keep food down, can't keep your strength up to even like help you combat working in an environment where it's just constantly moving, rocking, and throwing you around on deck. Like, the more your strength goes down, the less easy that is to handle, and then you just get more beat up because your body's just falling all over the place because you don't have any strength left. And so it's like a downhill spiral. And with seasickness, the only way I can combat that is to make sure I don't get hungry, which unfortunately this boat, the food situation was not great, and I didn't pack enough, and what I did pack I couldn't keep down, and he didn't have a microwave, so half the food I took I couldn't cook. And then getting good sleep. If I can sleep it off and I can wake up fine, then I can pretty well just be ready to roll. But I just couldn't fall asleep, and so those things were definitely exacerbated. So I'm not trying to like be bipolar about this job and all over the place, but it's just how it is. Because I'm trying so hard to be optimistic, and man, when it's not great, it just like really takes you down. So that being said, as far as looking for a different job, like I've said, I am keeping a hairy eye on the job market, you know, passively, but I do plan to lean a little bit more into that once I do move up here. Things just are really, I feel like I have a lot of big plates spinning in the air right now with trying to find housing, trying to deal with this job situation, both the being on call all the time, the lack of income because of the lack of sea days, and then also the sea days, me being physically able to handle them. It's a lot. And for right now, my main focus is just getting through the move, getting out of that apartment, and that will infinitely help because I'm someone that is so impacted by my home-based environment, my personal space. Like, I'm a firm believer that your apartment or your home is like the one little space you have control over. So it's always my sanctuary and how I recharge and regroup. So when that's out of whack, it like throws everything else out of whack and just throws my life on its head, as you guys probably noticed. So job hunting will amp up more once I'm settled. And then between job hunting and apartment hunting, with such a lack of both options, for lack of jobs, lack of apartment options, because I'm being priced out, not priced out, but I think paying any more than what I'm paying right now is just unacceptable. It's just stupid for one person to be having to pay anything more than $1,500 a month. Even that's a lot, I think. It's been fine because, you know, what are you going to do? But I think up here, there are cheaper options if I, you know, go a little bit further away from the highly desirable areas. But then it's like, well, how can I pick an apartment in a maybe not highly desirable area? There's not going to be any job opportunities there. So, you know, between new job or new apartment, it's like the chicken before the egg scenario. Who comes first? We're just going to see how things go. But first and foremost is the move. That is most important. Like, let me just get out of Massachusetts and get all of my things up here and then take it from there. And some of you have asked about like what's wrong with apartment hunting. Why is it going so badly? And it's like, it is just availability. It's just, there's nothing out there in my what I think is reasonable price range. And when there is something, they just get scooped up immediately. So even though I've been applying, like paying the application fees to do the background checks and all that, like, just within 12 hours, oh, it's gone. Oh, okay, great. You know, I'm not even getting a chance to schedule a time to go look at them. So it kind of stinks. Many of you have asked or suggested that I start incorporating more vlogs on my channel to help boost my income, and some of you just plain want them. Like, that lights my heart up so very much. Thank you guys for saying that. I appreciate that so much, because I've been wanting to move that direction for a while. I feel so stale, and like that was like the past version of Rachel, like those first 3.5-4 years of my channel, of just me sitting in a space, you know, talking through my budget, talking about money. Like, I'm kind of over that scene. I'm not saying they're not going to happen. I'm just saying, like, I don't want that to be my whole channel base anymore. I want to, like, I don't know, do more things, share more. So I'm so delighted that some of you are asking for that. That makes me so happy. I've been dabbling, as I'm sure you can tell, but I hesitate because, like, what am I doing that's so interesting? Who would want to tune in and watch me going about my day, weeding in the garden, or whatever the hell I'm doing? But honestly, when I stop and think about it, and think about what I'm watching on YouTube lately, which is a lot because I don't have cable, I only have Netflix, and I'm sorry, but you can run out of things to watch on Netflix. So I'm on YouTube all the time, and my favorite videos are just vlogs of people chilling outside in their gardens, in the woods, like all the homestead things. And that's just because that's what I'm wanting in my life. I'm trying to get my life to go in that direction, but it's literally just watching them chill throughout their day, or like, here's what I'm working on today. The boring vlogs are my favorite things to watch, so I don't know, like, what my hesitation is about making them. So I'm going to start doing that more, and I had planned to start doing that more when I move home. Honestly, when my mental health isn't great, it really tanks my creativity, and my ambition, I think, is probably mostly impacted when my mental health is not its best. And so getting out of my current living situation and just getting up here and being around family and nature, more nature, I think that'll help greatly. And so I'm very excited to start doing some more vlogs. So thanks for asking. Makes me so happy. Many of you have suggested contract work and other things, like, you know, delivering food or Instacart, and doing things like that to help bridge the income gap. And yes, absolutely. A couple of you have suggested, because I mentioned lately that Instacart finally emailed me and said I'm off the wait list and I can go ahead and sign up. And I said, well, I'll do that after I move. And some of you said, no, sign up right away, and that way you're ready to rock, just in case when you move in the next place they say they don't need more people in that area yet. It doesn't matter, your account's already made, you're already an active person doing it or whatever. So took your advice and I did that. So I've signed up for Instacart, and I'm pretty sure I did officially sign up for DoorDash months ago when they told me I was off the wait list for them, but I'll have to double check it, and if not, then I'll try to do that again right away, just because I will have plenty of time to, you know, throw in extra things like that could be helpful. And I love grocery shopping, so I don't know, see how it goes. Have any of you tried Instacart? I'm curious to see what you think about it, if it worked out well. And then the other thing a lot of people seem to have the same questions or like comments about is like is my rental property income. There's been so many comments saying that $643 a month in cash flow from my rental property is not a lot. I guess I can't quite understand how that's not a lot of income for one rental property. In all of the research that I did, which was a lot before I bought the property, even seasoned real estate investing experts, their cash flow goal for a single family like my home is $300 per door. If they're cash flowing $300 per month, they are of the opinion that that's a pretty good deal. And even just a quick Google search right now, 3 years, 4 years later, however long it's been, $150 to $200 a month cash flow per door is considered a good deal. So How is $643 a low income, or not great, and I should sell it and get rid of it? And yeah, granted, the tenant's a pain in the ass and paying late, but that aside, how does that make $643 a month cash flow not good? That confuses me, because I think that's a damn good amount of cash flow. So I don't know, help me out. Maybe I'm missing something, but especially given that I only paid $42,000, $45,000 for the house. I'm sorry, but that's not low cash flow. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm missing something, but I guess I'm just curious. Like, why do people think that that's low cash flow? And I do see some comments, people have just misunderstood the numbers. The tenant's not paying $643. The tenant pays $1,000. I pay $99 a month to the property management team, and then I pay $250-ish for the mortgage. And then what's left from that, you're supposed to save like 20% of for repairs, vacancy, things. I'm saving 100% of that. So all $643 leftover dollars is my cash flow. It's being saved for the house, for real estate. So I don't know, just curious, just because I've seen multiple people say that, and I don't know if there's people out there that are absolutely crushing it and making $1,000 cash flow or more per month from one property, but I don't know, gang. And a few of you have asked, like, why. Many people have asked this question over the last few years, but why don't I live at the rental property if I'm having such a hard time finding housing and the mortgage on it is so damn cheap? Yeah, I don't want to live in Kansas City. I am a marine biologist. I would be absolutely completely useless in the middle of the country, far, far away from the ocean. So it's just, yeah, I just happened to buy a long distance property because properties were, and probably still are, comparatively to here, a heck of a lot cheaper. I wanted to start real estate investing. I wanted to start small and cheap and learn and, actually go through the process before I continued to larger properties, larger investments, if that had been the direction that I wanted to go. And I don't know, I might still, but for right now, I, in my mind, have pivoted from thinking about the next rental property and just worrying instead about a roof over my own head, because it feels like the time to maybe start switching gears from looking for a rental apartment and maybe purchasing my own property for myself and stop with the constant struggle of finding affordable apartment housing year after year. It's annoying, it's frustrating, I'm over it. I've been a renter for most of the last 20 years, and I'm just over it. 21 years at this point. I'm just ready for my own place, my own space, my own, but I don't know. That also, of course, would require a stable job that I'm feeling sure about, and I don't know, we'll see. There's not much real estate in my price range to purchase either, so I'm kind of limited. No idea what I'm doing, no idea what's coming next, but I appreciate that you guys want to be a part of it. I love that. Thank you so much. That means so much to me, and I really am feeling better now that my first load of things have been moved. It's like, yes, the process has started. This makes me feel happier, knowing that the end is near in that apartment. That's enough of that. I think it's time to go for a swim.